Hello, hello, and welcome to another edition of Top 10 Thursdays with your hostess with the mostess, Skylalovesgorymovies, also known as Kezza. I'm in the house. Basically, if this is the first video that you've seen of me, I basically do a collaboration every Thursday with a very good friend of mine on YouTube by the name of Horrorcollector, also known as James the Bossman. And we just do, we each week I pick a list one week and James picks a list another week, and we just have to try and get a top 10 list, try and get it down to 10. And basically it's my turn this week to do the top 10 list, and I actually chosen top 10 favourite comedians. Now, before we start, this week I haven't got any honourable mentions, but as a spoiler, 3 of my entries either have 2 people or 3 people, but I did manage to get my list down to 10, which is good. Yeah. So this week I chose the list, and it was top 10 favourite comedians, and we shall go ahead. Pad. I've changed pads. I don't know, because usually I have a small pad, and this week I'll go one bit and have a bigger pad. Might explain to you why on this week, because there's only 10, so I might give you an explanation. So let's go ahead and dive in. Top 10. Number 10, I've chosen blooper alert, start again. Number 10, which is that. Number 10, I have chosen Tommy Cooper. Tommy Cooper, he was a comedian, but he done magician, but he was doing the tricks wrong, which made everybody laugh, and he was in a couple of funny films with Eric. I know he was on one with Eric Sykes, and I actually watched it the other week, called The Plank, and it was only on for an hour, but it was really good, the film, and I just bawled myself laughing because it was just so funny. So yeah, Tommy Cooper is my number 10. Let's get my hands ready. Yep. Am I done it right? Yeah. Number 9 is, of course, John Cleese. You'll probably recognise John Cleese from the Blackadder films. Thinking what else. He was in a couple of other stuff, but mostly what I find him funny from is from there was only two series of this, but it's probably one of the most funniest series ever. And John Cleese is famous from Fawlty Towers, Mr. Fawlty. I love that TV series. I have both series on DVD. It just makes me laugh, and the way how he goes about with Manuel and stuff like that, and the way he has a relationship with what's her name, Prunella Scales, I think, or Penelope Scales, one or the other, don't quote me on that. But anyway, that was my number 9. Number 8 is, I'll just do this. Yeah, do it again. He's famous for doing what I've just done. If you don't know who he is, I'm on about Benny Hill. Oh my goodness. He is highly hilarious. Oh, he makes me laugh something terrible. I would tell you now, if my Peter was here, he would tell you. Well, that would even be in his top 5, because he's just so entertaining. Benny Hill is, and I know when we're on holiday, Peter always has to do his Benny Hill impression, and that makes me laugh even more. So Benny Hill is just highly entertaining, and he's just amazing. What number we're on next? Oh yeah, number 7. Now before I carry on, because we're at number 7, this is our first of our double entries, and I'm on about, and I will talk about them a little bit individually. First of all, 1 of 2 for number 7 is Chris Rock. Oh my goodness. I love Chris Rock. He is, I don't like love him, I mean, I love him because he's highly entertaining. He makes me laugh. And if you don't know who Chris Rock is, I don't know what freaking planet you're from. He's just so funny. I've got a video of him somewhere, and he's just so funny, and he does like little parodies, like little adverts. Like there was something about the police. But it was just so funny. I'm sure it was the police, don't quote me on that. But it was just like, it was so funny. And every time I just, like, even if I'm watching in like Rush Hour with Jackie Chan, oh, he's so entertaining. He brings that comedic side even into a film as well. So, yep. So, the second part of number 7, I mentioned Chris Rock, is Eddie Murphy. Oh, Eddie Murphy is one of the most funniest people ever. If you haven't seen Eddie Murphy Raw, I highly suggest you go and watch it now. Don't find it on YouTube or anything, and just watch it. You will piss your pants, because he's that entertaining and he's that funny. He's just amazing. And even if you don't know Eddie Murphy, I don't know what freaking planet you're from, because he's from films like the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy, Vampire in Brooklyn, Trading Places. Oh, there's loads he's in. So go and watch all them funny films, and watch Raw as well, because that's really good. Which brings us on to number 6, which is another 1 or 2 entries, but these are a comedy duo. They've had the comedy strip presents. They're on a couple of them, which is really good. And I'm on about Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders. Like, separately, they are funny, but when you bring them together, they're just something else. They have their own show, French and Saunders, and like Dawn French has been in she has The Vicar of Dibley, and Jennifer Saunders was in Absolutely Fabulous. So even separate, they're funny as fuck. But when you bring them together, they're even more funny as fuck. So I had to just do that bit together. Right, number 5 is, of course, Tim Minchin. What can I say about Tim Minchin? that isn't just funny enough. If you don't know, Tim Minchin is Australian, and what he likes to do, he likes to tell jokes and all that, but he plays the piano, and he's really, 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 really entertaining. No matter on the mic or playing the piano, he's just so funny. Like, he's a bit raw, but he's like a funny type of raw. He's like raw enough to make you piss your pants. I've said that about a million times today, piss your pants. But Tim Minchin is really good. Like, all these what I'm basically saying to you are highly recommendable. So yeah, number 4 is my last of me like double and trios. But I've had to put these 3 together because it's from one of my favourite shows on the telly, comedic of all time. And I'm on a course about Harry Enfield, Kathy Burke and Paul Whitehouse. Also known from the show Harry Enfield and Chums. Oh, what can I say? And of course, Harry Enfield and Kathy Burke and Paul Whitehouse were also in Kevin and Perry Go Large. And that's a movie that you've got to watch. Because Kevin and Perry are one of the parodies, one of the characters from Harry Enfield and Chums. So, and that's the Kevin one. Kevin and Perry one is one of my favourites. But the other one that's also my favourite is the Wayne and Wayneetta, and where Paul Whitehouse does the interview with Jordinio, and he goes blah, 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 and then he says something in English, and it's just so funny. You need to, if you've never seen Harry Enfield and Chums, I don't watch the sketches, but I'd especially want to watch the Kevin and Perry one, because it's like he's acting out as a teenager, and it's just so funny. So which brings us on to number 3. I'm just going to basically say a line for number 3 and see if you can guess it, and then after a couple of seconds, if you after me recording this, I'll just wait a couple of seconds and then tell you who I'm on about. And it goes like this. Hello, my darlings. Have you got a job? Now, if you bloody don't know who that is, I'm on about Charlie Drake. From, of course, Charlie Drake the Worker. Oh, Charlie Drake is just so funny. Like, he's in other stuff as well, but the one that sticks out in mind for me is Charlie Drake the Worker. And what he does, he keeps on going to the UAB. It's like what we call the job centre nowadays. And he goes, have you got a job? Have you got a job? But he speaks in like another accent from mine. And the lady goes, yes, Charlie, you can be a lollipop man. Just for an example. So Charlie goes and does the job as a lollipop man, and he gets sacked the same day. And then he goes back into the office and he goes, hello, my darlings, have you got a job? And then she tells him, okay, you can do this one. And it's just so funny, and just keeps on doing the same thing. And I'm just roaring laughing with what he does. He's just so entertaining. So that was my number 3. Now we're on to the nitty gritty, the top 2. We have number 2, and this is of course Frack Off. Trying to think of what else this person says. Frack Off. That's what he says all the time. Or he, she. That'll give you a clue. Or Mummy, and they go Mummy, and he goes fuck off, and he just says all sorts. It's just so funny. And I'm on a course about Brendan O'Carroll, who plays Agnes Brown from Mrs. Brown's Boys. Everybody knows that I'm I'm not obsessed, I just love the show so much. It makes me laugh, and it's one of them shows that's just highly entertaining, and a lot of people in the States don't really know about it. But to let you on about something else about Brendan O'Carroll, he's just done a tour of Australia. So for the likes of Spanner James 669 or 699, and of course Andrew Bolina, who are Australian, Brendan O'Carroll was in your neck of woods, and there should be a DVD coming out over your end of Mrs. Brown's Boys. But in June, Brendan O'Carroll is releasing a movie, a Mrs. Brown's Boys movie, and I cannot wait to see it. So that's going to be so entertaining. And I've also got every single series of what they brought out on the BBC. But in Ireland, they've already done 7 series of this before bringing it over to the UK and Scotland and the BBC. So anyway, that was my number 2. And of course, we are down to the numero uno, number 1. My number 1 all-time favourite comedian of all time is Roy Chubby Brown. Everybody should know by now that Roy Chubby Brown's my favourite comedian. And I'll explain to you why. I've watched Chubby Brown since I was like 9, 10, 11 years of age. It's a part of my childhood. It's probably something I'd probably never, ever get rid of. I've been to see Chubby Brown probably about 5, 6 times now. I might go and see him this year, don't know yet. The last time I went to see him was 2 years ago. Probably will go and see him this year. I've had my book autographed from him. You saw that in another top 10. What can I not say about Chubby Brown? He is just so funny. He's very crude. I will admit to you that he is very, very crude. He must have a swearing vocabulary, but I'll tell you something now. Roy Chubby Brown on stage is actually different to the Roy Chubby Brown in real life. The Roy Chubby Brown in real life is not unlike this. Is not unlike the one that the Chubby Brown that you see on stage. Because I watched the documentary about him, and he's always still going to be my favourite comedian, no matter what. Even after seeing this documentary, and he's so laid back, he's so entertaining, even in real life, and he's so proud of himself and of his accomplishments and stuff like that. The guy even battled throat cancer a few years ago, which I commend him a lot. But I've always had that necessity with Chubby Brown as a kid. I've grew up watching him. I've met him, I've seen him perform live, and to me he's just highly entertaining. Like, I know a lot of people don't like what he does because he says certain things that are out of character, but what you don't realise is the Roy Chubby Brown that you see on stage, the crude as fuck one, isn't the same Chubby Brown as when he's off stage. So, just so you know that. But anyway, that was my top 10 list. I really hope you like it. I'm hoping that James might do his list tonight or tomorrow. So even if he does this a day late, I don't mind. So anyway, once you've watched my list, make sure you go on to James Horror Collector's, well, James Boss, aka Horror Collector's channel. Check out his list. And as always, if you like what you see, please send me nice comments. And then if this is the first video you saw of mine, welcome. And also, when you do go over to Horror Collector and you watch his videos, please subscribe to him, please like his videos, please comment. Because even though he's got more subs than me, I've only got 50 subs. I'm not bothered about the subs. But please give James Boss loads of subs, because that guy is amazing. If you want to, this guy, or my mate James, knows a lot about horror. He just went to his first convention, he talks about that. And also one thing that you should know about James Boss, aka Horror Collector, is this. I've never known one person on YouTube that has a massive t-shirt collection. Horror t-shirt collection. as much as he has, and figures. He's a massive Walking Dead fan. He loves Freddy Krueger. And he's a massive fan of Captain Spaulding, which is from the House of 1,000 Corpses. So, yep, please sub to James and go and watch his videos. And thank you very much for taking the time out to watch this. And I will definitely see you all soon. And next week is, of course, James's turn. And I think James has got a special treat for us. So, yep, see you all soon. Bye.